Hello everyone. It's me, KP. I'm here in my studio, the Moon and the Maker, home of ArtFoamies, and I'm here for, ArtFoamies Fun Friday. Welcome. So Jim is here. I'm sorry for being late. It's been a little bit of a crazy whirlwind leading up to ArtFoamies Fun, but I want to welcome you all. I'm going to say good evening really quick to my friends, and I want to thank you all for being here. Jim is here, Cecilia, B. Consuelo, C. Hag. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you. I hope you're feeling better. We've been thinking so much about you. Puffer is here, Patty, Kevin, our special guest, Kevin Nakagawa is here. Oh my gosh, I want to say hello to everybody, and then I'm just going to launch into ArtFoamies Fun and tell you about what's happening this evening. We were having a little bit of technical difficulty, so my very special guest, Kevin, cannot be on camera with us, which I'm really bummed about, but he is here, and I cannot wait to talk about him, talk to him, and show you his wonderful new ArtFoamies. So I'm going to move along, and then we're going to get started. Cindy is here. Pamela is here. Tam, welcome. I know we've all been so excited about tonight. Linda is here. Oh my gosh. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Ellen, welcome. Thanks for being here. Jack and Dana. L.S. Weber. Who else? Wendy is here. I know Wendy has been waiting for this too. We're just so excited. Nita is here. Jan Bryant. Oh my gosh. Cindy, did I miss saying your name? Cindy Sharp. Oh my gosh, who else? Stephanie Martin is here. Lisa, Whisker Dance. Welcome, I'm so happy you're here too. Let's see, who else? I don't want to miss anyone. Dee Keels is here. Mary Lynn Kelly. Oh my gosh, Anita, Diana, Bernadette. Concilio. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'll remember that from now on. Anyway, it's me, KP, and I am here for another exciting ArtFoamies. Well, I hope it's exciting. Anyway, it's exciting to me. Yes. So let me just talk to you about what is happening tonight. I hope that all of you do know Kevin Nakagawa from Stampscapes. He is the ingenious, inventive, innovative stamp designer, artist behind the fantastic Stampscapes line. And I just have to tell you that I have known Kevin for many, many years, okay? I don't want to make it sound like we've been best friends, but we have known each other through the rubber stamp industry since the 90s, okay? And I believe, Kevin, tell me if I am imagining this, or if I just don't know if my memory serves me. I know that we met at least one or two different stamp conventions back in the day. But for some reason, I do remember you coming to my store. I used to have a stamp store way back in the 90s, and I remember you coming and teaching at the store. Is that just my crazy brain, or do you remember that too? Anyway, I want to say hi to Monica and to Sue, and I want to welcome you. I'm so happy that you've joined us to see and to meet Kevin. Again, I'm so sorry that Kevin can't be on camera with us. Yes, I know. So Sue says, Kevin did a video early today and I saw it. Wow. So I hope all of you follow Kevin, follow Stampscapes, and are checking out his new ArtFoamies, okay? I am so beyond thrilled, honored, ecstatic to be introducing Kevin's ArtFoamies. And I do have to tell you this story. Carmen, yay, I'm so happy that you're here. I hope everybody after ArtFoamies Fun Friday will go over to Stampscapes and watch... Kevin, that is so funny. He says, I don't remember doing that. Maybe it was some other Japanese dude. I don't think so, but maybe it's just because I saw you demoing and teaching. I have it in my brain that you came to our store, though, for some reason. Anyway, Candy Smith, you're here. Joni is here. I'm so happy that you have joined us. And I just do not want anybody to miss this. I, again, want to just say Kevin was so gracious to come spend his time here with us. He was going to come on camera with me, but we could not get it. We do a certain Skype call, and we could not get it to work. So it is Stampscapes. We will share all of the links, okay? I'll make sure that we share all the links with you. Bernadette will be posting them. I'll post them on our page. But yes, it is Stampscapes channel, and also on Instagram, right? So Jan Bryant says, I took a class from Kevin back in 1996 at Bear Makes 3 in Del City, Oklahoma. It was wonderful. Yes. And Kevin says, I remember those classes, Jan. So without further ado, if you know Kevin, then wonderful. You're going to be so excited to have his imagery in ArtFoamies. Not only is it wonderful, a stand-alone imagery that you can use just as ArtFoamies, but they do also work beautifully for scaling up. And I'll let Kevin talk a little bit about this. He can type furiously in there. But anyway, Kevin, you're so funny. If you are familiar with his rubber stamps, then they work beautifully with his rubber stamp collection as well. If you're just seeing Kevin's imagery for the first time, then I know that you are absolutely blown away. What I can say, I've been in the rubber stamp business, oh my gosh, since I started in around 93-ish, not somewhere in the early mid 90s. I believe Kevin was already there doing it. Yes. Oh my gosh, Kevin, thank you so much. I kind of had a funny story to tell. Cindy says he was a regular at Art and Soul. I'm just reading the comments. If you're reading along, then you're laughing too. I just want to say, Linda says, yeah, I have tons of Stampscapes in rubber. So yes, if you already have Stampscapes in rubber, then they're going to work wonderfully with these ArtFoamies, okay? If you don't have any Stampscapes in rubber, then you're going to want to go over to Kevin's Stampscape shop and order some, because again, fantastic together or, you know, alone, right? So Sue says, I met both of you through Great American Stamp Store back in the day. Oh my gosh, yes, Great American Stamp Store. So many memories. Kevin the other day was at a stamp show, right, Kevin? This last weekend, he just did a stamp show and was posting pictures, and it was making me so melancholy. Anyway, I just want to say again, whenever I took over ArtFoamies, of course, my wheels were spinning, because one of the things Kevin and I have a lot in common when it comes to innovating stamp images, okay? Like Kevin has innovated this entire beautiful, amazing collection and put it all together sort of in a way that is accessible for you to learn how to make artwork using his rubber stamps, using his imagery in a way that is so seamless and so absolutely beautiful. His applications with inks on different substrates, different papers, experimentation, unmatched by anybody else in this industry. Seriously, I just want to say how honored really that I am that you trusted me with these images, because I have to tell you all that I started messaging Kevin right after I took over ArtFoamies. So it's been a little over 2 years that I was saying, you know, Kevin, will you design some ArtFoamies? I really want you to. And then he was always open to it, but it's still sort of like, Kevin is very thoughtful. And I just want to say, I don't know him that well, but he seems like somebody who is very measured in his responses and also in his design process. So I feel like he was really kind of taking it in, like not sure exactly if the process, the applications would be the same. And so, you know, I think that he just wanted to really kind of see. And I dropped the ball a couple times through, you know, things get busy. You're sort of on and off, ebb and flow. And so finally after, oh gosh, how long, Kevin? I just finally, about maybe 6 months ago, I said to him in a message again, you know, if I'm bugging you, if I'm bothering you, please just tell me and I won't bother you anymore. And he is so kind. I just want to say this to you, Kevin. You are just one of the most gracious and kind people that I have dealt with. And working with you is just like amazing. You're so thoughtful. I love your sense of humor. And anyway, so I feel like in a way Kevin finally said yes just to get rid of me. All right. No delay. And Dee says delayed does not mean denied. And he just said to me, "Oh, KP, you're not bothering me. I'm so honored that you're here and asking. I do want to do it." And so, of course, we just got the ball rolling again. And so I sent some, you know, he sent me some artwork. I made some samples and he was excited and thrilled. And so we've just been having sort of this wonderful collaboration back and forth ever since. But I know he's been super busy. And then, of course, you know, I have been super busy also with, you know, just other launches because, you know, a lot of other artists want their stamps released at this time. So, you know, we're just busy going back and forth, but it has been really also fun and awesome to see Kevin's response on how they work. And so he says, I wasn't sure if the detail would be there in larger versions, but KP sent some examples and the foam does really very well with the detail. Linda also says, loved all the videos Kevin did with the Moonlight Duo ink pads. Me too. And I love that too. Really appreciated that. Believe it or not, I want to take a class first and never could, but now I'm on the path to own them all. Yeah, so without further ado, let me go ahead. I know I'm just so, again, excited, happy to be here, sharing this with all of you. I do want to say one thing about most of you have followed me, followed ArtFoamies, followed Rubber Moon even. And so you know my style. My style is very different. My style is, you know, whimsical and very sort of, I don't know, you know, I do a lot of just more like moons and faces and way, way, way different than anything in Kevin's or in Stampscapes realm. Okay. And that might be you too. That's one of the things that I love about the Stampscapes is that I can also do this kind of art, this kind of imagery. Stampscapes makes it possible, and it's going to make it possible for you too. I cannot wait to show you. And also, shame on me, because I should have some Stampscapes rubber stamps here too, but I don't. But I will be rectifying that situation within the next week or so that I can pull in some extra Stampscape rubber stamps into my compositions as well. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you the new ArtFoamies from Kevin's Stampscapes line. Okay, so here I did pull out a few substrates because I am going to be stamping them for you. And again, please definitely follow Kevin if you don't already. Make sure that you go over and you check out his channel and start following him so that you can see some of the videos and some of the examples and some of the exciting things that I know he will be doing with the ArtFoamies. All right, I'm going to pull out my tray of the Stampscapes, okay? And I'm sorry, it's a little dark in here. Let me adjust my lighting. Let me see. I might even have to turn my overhead light back on. 1 second. See if that looks a little better. There's a little bit of a glare, but I think that's okay for now. What do you all think? Tell me how you feel that looks. save all these. So, oh my gosh, I believe, and I'm so sorry I did not count correctly, but I believe that we have 12 images. And you know what? I forgot to get my iPad. Let me, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm a little discombobulated now. Let me open up my page to my website here, and I can tell you all the names because you know how confused I get. Huh. Oh, I forgot to show I'll show my shirt after. Oh no, wait, here, I'll turn it back around. I wore this in honor of you. This is Happy Trees painting Bob Ross, and this is as close to Bob Ross paintings as I will ever get. Oh, Mr. Moon is here. Yay. Yes, Stampscapes on steroids. Oh my gosh, you're so funny, Debbie. Megan, welcome. Okay, so here we have it. I'm just going to pull them out one at a time, not in any particular order. And I'm going to show them. And then, of course, I am also going to stamp them for you, or at least show them stamped. And we'll do a little makey if you're up for that. Okay, here we have Rocky Peaks. And again, all of the sizes are listed on the website, but I'm going to go ahead and measure them for you here. This is at about 7 inches, and at its tallest peak, about 3 1/4. We have tree trunk. Okay. And this is beautiful for the sides of your substrate. And this tree trunk stands at about 6 inches and about 2 1/2 at its widest point. We have tall peaks, and this one I love. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this stamp so bad. 8 inches by about 5. Okay. If you love journaling, if you love making cards or even larger art, the wonderful thing about even these large stamps are still great for card making, because keep in mind, you can fill an entire card and then fold it in half. Right? So pretty fantastic. All right. We have the heron, and this is about a little over 3 inches by about 3 1/2. Yes, now we're going to stamp some happy trees. Hey, Kevin, you're stealing my line. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have tree trunk trio. Say that 3 times. Tree trunk trio. And at its widest point, again, about 3 inches by about 7. Okay. And I'm sorry if I'm not showing these long enough, but again, I will be pulling them out. We also have a pine, just a single pine. And I know you can't see the detail on this one as well because I don't have any ink or paint on it, but trust me, it's fantastic. And it stands a little over about 6 1/2 by about 3. Okay. We have this is called Leaves. Very original. And again, I know you can't see that well, but I will be pulling out some, well, here, let me show it to you stamped so you can at least see it here. And that is this corner, and it's over stamped. Okay. But love it. It's just like you're seeing the, scenery through the trees. And that is about, I believe this is about about 4 by 4-ish. Okay. Around 4 by 4. And again, I know you can't see the detail on that well, but we'll be pulling it back out again. We have reeds. Okay. Where's my reeds? Uh-oh. My reeds are missing. Here they are. Turn the single pine sideways. Turn it sideways. Ooh, it's fantastic when you turn it sideways. I see what you're doing there, Jan. Sort of, yeah, definitely could be used sideways and would be sort of like a tree line heading into the background. Here's reeds. And again, this one just a little, oh, maybe 2 1/4 by about 3-ish. Again, don't know if I'm holding those up for you to see well enough, but that's reeds. Next, we have leafless pine. And there it is if you just want a, a lonesome winter pine. There you have it. And again, about 7 inches by around 2. Then we have pines and rock, which I love, 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 love this. Pines and rock. 3, it's like, well, it's actually more than 3, but it really looks like about 3, but there's a few more scattered in the background. And then you got the rocks in the front, and that is around 3 1/4 by about 5. Ooh, Kevin. So make sure you're showing all these. And anytime, I just want to say this to you, Kevin, also, if you want to ever send, you know, in a Facebook message or just an email or even in text, you can message me any samples so that I can share them as well. And of course, if you share on Facebook, I will also share around. Okay, so that was pines and rock. Next we have, I have to tell you, Kevin's iconic, and I do say iconic because I believe this, I'm going to guess that this is about one of your very first Stampscape stamps, or at least one of your very most popular. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I mean, unbelievable. I can't say enough. I cannot wait to be stamping this for you and showing you the magic. These things are magic. My husband, Mr. Moon, has seen loads and loads of stamps, loads and loads of ArtFoamies, and he walks in the room, he sees me stamping these, and he's like, oh my gosh, I need to learn how to stamp now. He's never said that. Anyway, this is called Lakeside Cove, and it is around a little over 9 inches wide by about 6 inches tall at its tallest point. Okay, remember too, these are fantastic to use. You can use just a portion of it, just a side of it. The way when you see me stamp these, or when you've of course seen Kevin stamp his rubber stamps, seamlessly go together like magic. Okay, just beautiful. Yes, I'm gonna stamp us. I gotta finish showing you the stamps. All right, so that is Lakeside Cove. The next one is Lakeside Cabin, and again, this one's a little bit longer, goes 11 inches by about 5 again. And then of course we do have a set of 2 boulders, and that you will get 2 of these. One is about 5 inches and the other one is 3.5. Okay. Finally, we have the deer silhouette, which I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know where I put my deer silhouette. And so, yeah, I don't, oh, here he is. He's hiding. The deer silhouette, he is around 2.5 inches at his widest. That's at the feet, by around 4 inches. Okay, deer silhouette. You have the double spruce, and it stands 7.5 by about 3.5. Finally, I do want to tell you, and I have a picture of this. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding. Okay, so anybody who is watching this, please take note. Okay, and I made a little fisherman silhouette, and Kevin has used it in some of his samples. We did not list this, so I'm just going to tell you, anybody who orders over the weekend, has ordered up to now, or orders over the weekend through Sunday, will get this as a freebie with your order if you order Stampscapes. Okay, that's it. After that, we're going to list it on Monday, but you won't get it free anymore. Okay, and I'm just saying that to anybody who's watching the live stream. If you order, or if you've ordered any Stampscapes through Sunday at midnight, You will get this Sunday Central Time, midnight. You will get this fisherman for free as automatic freebie. Okay? If you order after Sunday at midnight, any Stampscapes, you will not. This will be listed in with the collection. Okay? All right. Without further ado, let me start showing you some of the samples, and then we're going to stamp some together, okay? I want to first show you just some of the stuff that I stamped up really quickly when I very first got the stamps in my hands. So this is just a piece of typing paper with these stamped on here, okay? And then I wanted to see them, again, as you can see, for scale, and just to see how they stamped. Okay, these are my original stampings when I first get them in my hands. Okay, oh my gosh, look at what I stamped the very first time. I almost fainted, literally. Okay. Yes, also I want to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And yes, also, Jack, you're so funny. I do want to let you all know, okay, that is going to be the special. We're not running any specials right now unless you're a patron. If you're a patron, then you already get your Mooney discount, okay? A patron of KP. But if me, KP. But if not, you know, keep in mind, we are not running any specials right now other than you getting the free fisherman. Okay? But remember the little fisherman freebie that we're going to give away through Monday, okay? But keep in mind, I just want to remind you all that Black Friday is coming. So if you want to choose a couple and then finish off your collection, we will be having some specials come Black Friday. I'm not trying to put you off, but I just want to remind you of that, okay? Thank you so much, Rini. Yes, me and Mr. Moon and I met in the military all those many years ago. Okay, anyway, that's enough of that. Let's pull out some of the samples because I have had such fun playing with these in a different format. I can't wait to go over and see Kevin's stuff, and I can't wait to see him actually stamp and play with these. This is the Lakeside Cove, just stamped very quickly. My paint job is not incredible, but I very quickly, and we are going to do this together tonight, okay? I do want to let you know a couple things. If you're ordering any of Kevin's new Stampscape ArtFoamies, you may want to consider ordering this little set of miniature ArtFoamy basics, okay? These are the 3 little circles. These are going to come in very, very handy when you're doing your Stampscapes as moons and suns, okay? And this is this small set ArtFoamy basic circles in miniature, okay? The other thing I'm going to mention to you, and I will be showing this, and this is, I don't know how many of you remember, I know Kevin remembers, his tonal applicator, okay? Kevin made a stamp like similar to this many, many moons ago, okay? A much finer little polka dot, little tiny stipples. This is directly, Kevin, I want you to know, directly inspired by you. Now, I did not copy you because obviously the dots are much bigger. The shape is a little different. Yours was shaped like a pear. But I do use this in a very, oftentimes in a similar way, okay? In a similar way to how you use your tonal applicator. So I'm going to show you this stuff. I'm going to show you these samples and then we're going to get started, all right? A little piece, again, just a little Lakeside Cove. Here I did use my little dot-to-dot stamp that I just was talking about. I don't know if you can see that okay, but I'll be putting ink on it so you can see it better. It's just a bunch of dots. So this is just on printmaking paper. Again, very quick. Show you some of these techniques. but so seamless and beautiful the way it goes together. You're gonna gasp with delight when you see how these go. Yes, art foamies are a lot quieter. That is for sure. Yes, because when you tap the tonal applicator, you're making a lot of sound. This is much quieter. Yes. All right, more samples, my friends. Another greeting card, this time on watercolor paper. Again, using the same stamps, but here I do have, I had a bigger little folder that I made, and this is with pastels, although I have not finished it yet. And you can see I used a lot of the stamps on this one, almost all of them, I think. And I'm making this into a folder, so it is a full scene on a quite large piece of paper, not done yet, but again, just wanting to pull out all these samples for you. Now I have a couple on watercolor paper. Oh, loving the colors in this. And then in the blues, this was a really fun piece. Again, you can see it's almost all the same stamp, but it gives you so many different looks depending on what paper, depending on the colors that you're using. Here I have one done on Yupo, and I had a lot of fun working on the Yupo. I don't know how many of you are on my Patreon, but we have been doing a lot of stuff on Yupo lately, and it's so funny because I don't know how many of you actually heard me say, like about a week or so ago, like, well, I don't know. I don't love Yupo. And then I just been working on it. And now I love it. So this is on white Yupo. This is on transparent Yupo. And again, loads of fun with this one. I love how my sky turned out. This, maybe even my favorite piece, with the Yupo and especially the translucent. Really fun because you can wrap this around like a glass jar, and put like a little fake tea light in there, and it will show through almost like a little stained glass. On this one, I actually did paint the back with, I know you can't really tell, but a little bit of sort of a shimmery paint, and it does give a little bit of an effect. You can't really see it on camera, but I love this. Had a lot of fun. Terry Dye. Yes, we do need already some more. I'm not going to lie. And I think in here is my final piece that I absolutely had an incredible time creating. And I do want to show you this magic. This it didn't really take that much time. And I just had an amazing time painting it and creating it, and so I'd love to share that with you. So I'm going to pull out, okay, you could do watercolor paper. I am actually pulling out a piece of watercolor canvas, and I am using a canvas that is stretched, okay? This is a new Frederick's watercolor canvas. And just gonna put this here. Okay, and it is gonna be mixed media. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna have a little fun with some mixed media. I am going to be taking some of my Peerless watercolor concentrate liquids, and I also have the Dr. P.H. Martin's. These are basically the same thing. They are dye-based watercolors. So I will tell you that it is not the same as professional watercolor in your tubes or in your pans. So it is not exactly similar to this, okay? This dye-based watercolor, I will tell you, it fades, okay? It's great for reproductions, But if I really wanted to make something to hang, you know, somewhere and sell, I probably would not use these just because it is going to fade over time. But the beautiful, you get such amazing results, okay? And great for reproductions. Again, I'm probably not going to be hanging this in the Smithsonian, so I'm just not going to worry about it that much. All right, so I am going to take a sort of a larger brush. I have, oh, what is this? Maybe a 3/4 or a 1 inch. I can't really remember. It's all covered up with paint. Let me see. Maybe that's a 3/4. Yeah, that's a 3/4 because here's a 1 inch right here. Maybe I'll take this 1 inch. I do have some fresh, clean water right here. Okay, I have my watercolors. I am going to be using a little bit of gesso in this composition, okay? After I get everything sort of smushed up with my watercolor, I'm going to come back in with some gesso, all right? But for majority of it, it is watercolor. Okay, sorry. I was looking at my... And I want to make sure, I want to get the right size. Yes, I'm going to use my medium circle, okay, for my moon. And I'm also going to use the large. So I have 4 stamps, okay. I have my lakeside cottage. I have my trunk, my tree trunk. Okay. I have my moon. And I also used, you know, I'm not sure if I used the single, I think I just used my single pine. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to, and I do have a few different colors here, and I do want to also grab a yellow. Give me just a second. Just a little lemon yellow, okay? So, Kevin, it looks like you already got your work cut out for you. We already need a moose, and we need a UFO, and what else? A wolf, and wolf pups, and elk. Oh my gosh. So hopefully, I'm hoping, and this is my hope, is that we can maybe add to the Stampscapes collection one or 2 images per month, because I will tell you the amount of detail that are in the Stampscapes, it does take much longer to produce them, and it's just a little bit trickier, okay? So we, you know, that's one reason why we just did not want to come out with too huge of a collection right off the bat, okay? So anyway, here I'm going to just take a few different blues. I have my ultra blue, I have some ice blue, I have some turquoise blue. I'm just going to load up. And I want to tell you, I am not going to be able to guarantee that this is going to come out exactly the same. Obviously, I am using, like I always do, my own piece for a little inspiration. Okay. Yes. So that is great, Diana. They can be sprayed with Kamar or an archival sealant. It's still, they're very fugitive colors. Okay. So they are not, they will still not be super long lasting, but still beautiful, right? I would not recommend to use them for artworks for sale, in that way, in the same way. Okay. But, for demonstration, and again, if I want to make reproductions, you know, it's great. Okay, so here, and you know what? I'm going to get just a little piece of test paper so I can look at my colors. Let's see here. All right, so here I'm just going to start in, and I'm just going to load up this canvas with color, okay? And we're going to do a little blue to the top, a little green here to the center. And it's pretty, I'm loading it up pretty wet with water. The switch, I got a little green in there, which I don't really want a lot of green in my sky. So let's go back to the blue. And go ahead and just really load it up there. And now I want to go into some tealy color. Let's see. I'm going to try, oh, do I have some turquoise? I don't know which one's turquoise now. Hold on. I really wanted that more turquoisey color. Let me try a little of this robin's egg blue and see if that comes out a little better. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wash this down just a little bit. Letting my water, you know, do some work. And this is just the fun part. You get to sort of, you know, just smoosh your colors, get some nice gradients. Just, you know, you're making sort of your foreground, your middle ground, and your sky here. All right, and now I'm going to take my Lakeside Cove first, and I do want it to be clean and dry. This is clean. It has no ink on it, no nothing, okay? And I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of alcohol, and I want to do it away from my piece because I don't want alcohol spraying over the top. I'm going to spritz this with a little rubbing alcohol, very lightly. I don't want it like soaking wet, okay? A couple little spritzes. All right, can you kind of see that on there? And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to place it, about, let's say about halfway. And we're going to let it run off the edge there. One thing, and I forgot to do this, I would like to put my hand up behind when I'm not working on a substrate that is you know, solid or flush. I want to put my hand up behind it so that I can get a little pressure back behind there, okay? And so it didn't do much, as you can see, but it did remove a little of the color, okay? And the reason for that is that I want some of those little bits of highlight, okay? That's gonna just pull out enough. And if you feel like it didn't do it enough, you can always go and stamp and blot off, okay? Get a little piece of blotter paper and you can blot this off. Let me set this to the side a little. Get that cleaned off a little bit better, and then I can come back. I could spritz it again one more time, okay? And I could do it again. Just kind of line it up. It's not gonna matter if it's perfect, okay? Because again, I'm just trying to get a little bit of that highlight, okay? And there, you can kind of see it now, right? Oof, good, 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 good. All right, so now I'm going to leave that there for a minute, start letting things set up a little bit better. I'm going to take my trunk now, and I'm going to stamp it over here. And, you know, I believe I honestly did kind of a similar thing. I'm just going to, now my stamp does have a little bit of color on there. It has a little bit of brown and a little bit of graphite, I think, but I'm going to go ahead. It doesn't bother me if it has that on there. It might leave a little bit of a stain. It might pull up some color. Either way, it's going to be okay because I'm going to be painting on that, right? Do you see that? Fantastic, right? So it's not only sort of pulling up some of that color that's going to leave me some highlights, but it's also going to put down a little bit of stain of what I had on there, okay? So I believe, if you want to know, I had a little bit of graphite and a little bit of a Derwent stick, something like this, okay? And I can touch that on there again. I am just going to go ahead and use this again. And one of the things I was saying about Kevin's imagery being sort of magical like that, even though it is not meant to, you know, it wasn't necessarily for that, but it works amazing. Okay, so now you can have your big tall tree all the way up the side there. Okay, and again, letting that sort of dry and set up. The other thing I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to take and do my little moon. Again, spritzing a little bit of alcohol off to the side because I don't want all the alcohol spraying over my canvas. All right, and I'm going to put that right there. And you'll see it spread just a little bit because that alcohol is pushing away the watercolor, okay? And it left a funny ring. That's okay because I can go back in, but I'm going to take my dry side of my art foamy and just dab at it and it'll pull that out. I am going to go back later, okay? Yes, it's a 12 inch square. Yeah, 12 by 12, okay? So we'll go back in later and stamp that again, but keep in mind that's going to sort of give me that little bit of beautiful highlight, right? And I can go down if this has a little bit of color that it pulled up. You can go back down into your, do the other side, into your water, and do a little reflection there. Just kind of something very light. It's barely going to show, well, it will. And then of course, as we move through the piece, we can finagle and finesse that as well. Okay. So let me clean this up a little bit before I continue moving on. All right. So now I am going to go in now with just a little bit of black gesso. Okay. You don't want your substrate to be super wet when you do this, but if it's just a little bit, it should be still okay. If it's not 100% dry, because it will sort of, I don't know, it just stamps nicely on there, but you don't want it to spread. Okay. So again, gonna take my same Lakeside Cottage, and you know what, I'm going to move this out of my way just for a minute. Sorry, I'm running out of room here. And I am going to take my scrap buddy and a little black gesso, and I am going to, and of course, if you wanted to use black acrylic, that would be okay too. Again, a lot of times I use the black gesso just because I like the matte, and I don't know, I use it sometimes for my outlining of stamps. But you can use your black acrylic or Payne's gray acrylic or whatever, some dark color you want, a dark. And then you're going to line it back up. I am holding my hand underneath. Again, if I had a flat substrate, I wouldn't have to worry about that, but I'm going to line that back up as well as I can. If it's not perfect, it's okay, because it's just the highlight in the background that I'm after. A little bit of offset would be fine. Okay, and then ta-da. And I don't know, maybe I didn't get it quite as dark, but that's okay too. You know, I can always go back in with a little bit more darker values and make it a little moodier, right? But you see the success of that sort of subtractive, you know, pulling away. And what you do want your stamp to be clean and dry when you do that, because it's kind of sucking out the watercolor. Okay, so you can do the same thing right over here. And I guess I'm just going to go in with, again, a little bit of black gesso. I don't think I really did that on my other example, but I do want that darker value on the side over here too. And so I'm just going to go ahead and realign that. Okay, and then this again. Oop, I didn't get it lined up too well on that one. That's okay. Keeping in mind, one of the things I love about these is, and why I say they're kind of magic, is because of the capability of doing stuff like that, right? I mean, it lines back up pretty seamlessly. And even if you sort of make a mistake, you can rectify it pretty darn easily. Look at that. I mean, and the same with these, like you can, well, I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to take a little bit of this now. Again, a couple of different things I'm going to do. First, I am going to take a little bit of my alcohol again, okay, and I'm going to spritz this single pine, just a little, and I'm going to just use the tip or just little bits of it. And again, it's a little bit dirty. I think it has still a little bit of paint or something on there. Doesn't matter. Using it to just give some tall depth, and just, again, a few different, you know, what am I trying, values. And you'll see a little bit, excuse me, of that color sort of pull out. Okay, and it might take a little while, but that's okay. You'll start to see it lighten up just a little bit. And then by the same token, you can take this same thing again. You can put different watercolors on it. A lot of times I will just even take some of the same watercolor that I had for my background and pop some color in there like so. Again, just overlapping, right? And you just can't go wrong with it. Little blue, you know, little different colors there. You can go back in the background here, make it a little darker. Okay, and that is what I mean by magic, okay? Same here, we can go in with some of these darks and start to, and this isn't really the right brush, switch brushes, and you can get some of your darks and begin to layer in there. Honestly, if your gesso is still even just the tiniest bit wet, you can smush it around a bit. You know, I don't want a lot of smushy gesso, but sometimes you can get just the right amount of little grays, you know, sort of with that. Anyway, and so the other thing I like to do, and look at my hands now. I just touched my face. Oh no. Hold on. So I know Monica says it really is magic. Painting onto a stamp is such an interesting notion to me. Yes. Oh my gosh. Painting on a stamp is awesome. I can't wait. Kevin, I am so excited about the possibilities that opens up for you, because I know I've seen your magical work. So to have these tools at your fingertips, I am so excited to see what will come to life, you know? Anyway, so I'm just going to keep going. As you can see, I do have a few of my sort of more professional watercolors in this little palette. And so a lot of times I will take, for example, in this example, you can see little bits of like pinks and yellows and little, you know, splattery stars in the sky. The rooftop I actually used, I'm going to pull some color out. So I don't know if you know about the thirsty brush technique, but if you want to ever pull some watercolor out of your painting, you can just take a clean, dry, well, not dry, sort of wet, but not soaking wet, and just call it a thirsty brush and pull some of that color back out. And then I'm going to take a little bit of let's see, of quinacridone gold, and I'm just going to use that quinacridone gold for the rooftop. Give it just sort of a little more orangey, sort of, I don't know, woodsy color. And I can come over to the front of the cabin and just do a little of that there as well. Maybe here on the side too. Okay. And again, here in the tree trunk. Okay, if I want to bring in, oh, let's try a little of our Van Dyke brown, or let's see, what else do I have? My burnt umber. And we will just smush that color right in there. Okay, let it, you know, watercolors generally aren't very opaque, but since that is gesso, the black gesso, okay, it is not going to smear as long as it's dry. So I'm just gonna go in with my little mixtures of browns, and you could even do a darker, you know, like a sepia if you wanted, because it's real close to the foreground. So while I'm here doing this, I would love to hear, Kevin, your perspective on some of these stamps. And if, you know, like, are you happy with the sizes? Would you do anything differently? What would you like to see, you know, in an ArtFoamies / Stampscapes collab, now that you are a little more familiar, and now that you know what they do? Inquiring minds want to know. And then, you know, the front of this obviously would be where the light would be shining, you know, the moonlight. So maybe I would take a little bit of white, and I could do this with a, you know, like I said, since it is mixed media, it doesn't have to be watercolor, but I may run a little white watercolor down that side just to give a little highlight there, okay? And if you wanted to, you know, make this so that little ring is a little less sort of, you know, a little more gradual, a little more graduated. So maybe, you know, you can take your paint and just, you know, continue to smush it. Remember that especially on the watercolor canvas and prepared surfaces such as aquaboard, it's very sort of forgiving and will move when you add water to it. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to actually take a nice clean brand new circle in the ArtFoamies. I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of water, and I'm actually going to take some gouache. This is artist gouache, okay? It is white gouache. It is opaque, but it is not the same as a gesso because it acts more like a watercolor. And the reason I want that is because I want it to be opaque, but I want it to be more watercolory, okay? Does that make sense? So I am going to just paint this on here. Again, I could use my Scrap Buddy, but it's such a small surface that I feel like the brush is fine. And I just want this because I want a little more graduated color on here I don't necessarily want it just so solid like that. I just think it makes a much more rich and, you know, again, sort of that graduated look. And then I can also do that right back down on here, and it just gives it, I don't know, helps it. Okay, so last but not least, okay, I'm going to take some of my other deeper colors, such as my indigo blue, my dark indigo blue, and I am going to start putting some darker, deeper values in the back here, okay, and kind of all around, just again to sort of build up that atmosphere. And then you can also, you know, start putting in some other little lines in the background, like just, you know, making it look more dense, a more dense forest. And a little more water there too. Okay, and then also I did take my tree or my line of trees again, and I took some darker, a little bit of darker, let's use a little bit of our ultra blue again, that darker blue watercolor. Put it right on here and just start in again, giving more depth and more color. You can also, a lot of times I will actually take the same tree line, okay, and load it up with just a little color just on the tips of these and pop it right back down there. Because remember, you don't have to push the whole thing. You can just sort of tilt it and just tip the tops of the trees, okay, if you want to do that. I'm just going to continue this way and finish it off back here. Again, more dark. And you could take mixtures of greens if you want to, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then finally, again, maybe a little bit of lighter color, a little bit of yellow. And I think I also did a little bit of pink. I don't know. I did, I think, a little bit of opera. I don't remember exactly, but you'll get the idea. Again, just to, let's get a generous amount of water on here. Again, okay, and just sort of topping those trees, a little tree line. And I'm also going to give a little splatter. Well, that's a little too much, but you'll get the idea. Whoopsie. It does pull some of that color out. So, all right. So where's my other brush? I seem to have lost it. Job hazard. Okay. And then I'm going to drop in little bits of yellow. And in my other sample that I shared with you, my colors at the top were a little bit lighter. So I feel like they just spread a little bit better. But anyway, it's okay. I'm just going to put in a little pink. And you know what? If you don't like it, just get your brush and smush it out. I kind of got a little heavy-handed with that. That's okay. And I think it's a different color than I used, but that's okay. I use the tip of my brush, as you can see, and I have a glare in here, so it's a little bit harder for me to see right now, but I did use the tip of my brush. I think you can kind of see it, to make sort of the tops of trees like that, but it was a lot lighter handed, so I might have to go back in and fuss with this a little. I wrong color combination, but that's okay. Let's go. I'm gonna just do this. Now, one thing is, anything that I did with the with the gesso will stay put. Anything that I did with the watercolor, like when I went in and stamped those other watercolors, is going to still move. So just forgive me because, again, got a little heavy-handed with the purple or with the fuchsia, but that's okay. It's going to look like Northern Lights. We're just going to pull that down into there. And then, of course, you can always go back in again over the top. I'm going to take that gesso once again, and I am going to blot that in there. And that's, you know, it's very wet and you can kind of see it moving, but it actually looks good. You could do the same thing, okay, with a little bit of white gouache or gesso, okay? And anything you don't like, you know the deal. Thirsty brush, blot it away, and smush, smush, smush. All right. And I'm going to get some kind of weird highlights here from this crazy way that I put the water like that, but it's okay. When it dries, it gets kind of, again, that little magical look. I just love it. I'll take this again, pop that right there, give a little smushy smush, and maybe one thing I would do, a few little white highlights, and again, you can splatter, okay, and you can also do something like, and I'm just going to show you. I'm going to take a little white, let's use the gouache that I had. Use a little bit of gouache, and I'm going to, again, apply it with my scrap buddy here. And I'm only going to do the part that's down in the water, okay? Again, just keeping in mind that I don't have to touch the whole thing to the surface. Ta-da! So, and then of course too, I may go in with a little bit and, you know, fill in the windows. I do feel like my rocks, I don't want my rocks to all be green, so I am going to use a little gray. Or you could use some browns, you know, whatever. You know the deal. Whatever colors get you all excited is what you're going to want to use. And then that's it. And I'm pretty much done. I think it looks fantastic. I could use a little deeper values down in here. This might be a little light, but all in all, I just, again, what can I say? It's like magic. I hope that you get these in your hands and you just are as just sort of bowled over, and that you just have as much fun and excitement as I am having. I am going to take a little bit more of this gouache, and I am going to just splatter a few things around. Keep it in mind that a lot of the times it will lighten up a little bit. And if it gets anywhere where you don't want it, okay, if you want to, you can, of course, just go in and, you know, sort of smush it back out. Again, it's going to act kind of like a watercolor, and it won't dry so opaque, right? And so there you have it, my friends. Now you can see, I hope, why I am so excited. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Kevin. Anybody, if you want to hang around for just like maybe 5 or so more minutes, I would love to share with you a quick acrylic painting, just to show you again how lovely that you can make these art foamies just sort of, what's the word, appear on your substrate. Anyway, all right, let me go ahead and pull out, oh my gosh, I thought I had a little panel here. Maybe I don't. Darn it. I was hoping for a, hold on one second, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry about that. I wanted to pull out a little acrylic panel, or I'm so sorry, a canvas panel, because I wanted to show you how fun. Oh yeah, here, I got one. Okay, this is covered with a little bit of Titan Buff, but I want to show you this really quick because you're going to I think that and of course, if you have to go, I don't want to hold you hostage. I know you might have to go, but I want to show this to you really fast. Also, it just gives you another way to use your beautiful new Stampscapes art foamies. Okay, so you have canvas or a hard hard substrate. Just take a couple shades of blues. Okay, let's take, we'll do a little manganese. Again, using my golden fluid acrylics. I'm going to use a little manganese. I'm going to use let's use a little phthalo. Okay. And what else? Oh, we'll use a little teal. Let me find some, I'll use a little cobalt turquoise. Bye, Cindy. Thank you so much. I am so happy you were here. I really appreciate you coming. And yes, I'll see you on our Makeys, and we'll be doing lots more of this. So thanks for coming and being here with us. All right. I'm just going to take, I'm also going to take a little white. I have a little bit of titanium white, and that way I can make some nice little mixtures. Okay. So I have my manganese blue. I'm going to start here. And again, a nice wide, soft brush. And we're just going to keep going side to side, really smooth till you get it. I'm going to mix with a little white for a nice gradient. Okay, and just going to keep doing that. It's going to give you a nice, soft, beautiful gradient. All right, and then so I'm still here in my manganese, and now I'm going down, graduating to my phthalo. Again, I haven't got to add any happy little trees yet, but that's kind of what it's reminding me of here. All right, we're just going to keep going down. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead into a beautiful sort of, oh gosh, we'll go into an anthraquinone, which is almost like an indigo. I could also do Payne's Gray, but I think that's just going to be a little deeper. Nice dark anthraquinone. And then finally into my turquoise and back into white. Okay, so now I have this beautiful sort of gradient, and I could keep doing it more if I want it even smoother, or want my transitions even smoother. Okay, I'm going to take this now and just cover this up so it's not so distracting, and also so that you can see it a little better. And then we are just going to now take our Lakeside Cove, or right? I can't remember the names already. And again, I am going to stamp it with some black gesso, although at this point I do think like a nice Payne's Gray would be great. Whatever. You can also understamp in white or light colors so that you have that little bit of back glow. The same way as, pulling out the color on the last demo I just showed you. But I'm just going to make quick work of it, and we're just going to go ahead and make sure that's all loaded up. Not too, over. You don't want to mash a lot of color in. You just want it sitting there on the top surface, and we're going to stamp it right here. Ooh. So we used to call this a split fountain. Ooh, I did not know that. They want to know if this collection is a base set and will they be the same style the new ones. Yes, I don't know that this is a base set, so to speak, but you know, yes, they're all pretty much all Kevin's are in his definite style. Okay, and I know you can't see that very well because it's really dark right there in the middle ground, but of course, and again, the one thing is about the ArtFoamies too, the way they're shaped and everything, you can stamp, I could stamp some white and then stamp again, you know, but again, the beauty, part of the beauty is, you know, in this layering. Okay. And let me go ahead. I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take this real big one this time. We'll go ahead, load it up with a little of the white acrylic just because that's what I have here. Also, I do want you to know that while your acrylic paint is wet, you can pull color out with alcohol as well. It doesn't work quite the same as with watercolor, but it can be done. And I was, you know, well, I'm going to stamp this, but then I may want it yellow, so I may end up stamping again later. I don't know. Again, one of the nice things is that I can do that, okay? And I don't actually love that image that I got because I think that the fluid acrylic is a little bit watery or, you know, a little bit less viscous than I would like. So I'll let that dry and then I'll still do something over the top. And then here, I'm going to still do this. It'll just be sort of a very soft, and you know, the way that it stamps where part of it doesn't really make contact is actually better for that water line, right? So here, just to kind of show you how I like to work, I am going to wash this off, okay, and then reapply color. Now I cheated because I have another one, okay, so I'm going to take this now and I'm going to load it up a little bit differently. I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to take a couple of my scrap buddies, okay, and I'm going to take a little bit of my neon or my fluorescent pink, okay, fluorescent pink on the top. Okay, a little gray. I'm going to use, and only because I have it here, a little gray gesso. Right through the middle, right on those rocks. And a little white, and again, I would use white gesso, but I just have a little bit of the white acrylic here, so I'm just going to smush that on. Okay, pull back my piece back out, realign it, hopefully. Yeah, I'm sorry, my hands are a mess. And that is just going to give you, again, a little bit of the white in the water, a little bit of gray across rocks, which I will go back in, and then a little bit of, you know, highlight on those trees. Now, maybe I don't want quite so much of that pink, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to take a little bit white again and sprinkle it throughout. And now, again, I'm just trying to illustrate my point about them being so magical. I mean, this is not the way. And then I may also want to do a little teal or turquoise back over the top there. And so that's great. Again, if it doesn't line up perfectly, it's okay. Just going to give myself more, and that may be a little bit too much white. So again, go back in, maybe with a little bit of green this time. But I don't have to keep over stamping. At this point, I can, you know, take my brush and start painting in a little bit. I think I do want to I'm just going to mix some of my grays, and I can go in here and start painting some of my rocks, you know, um, whatever, just get some of those kind of filled in and go back in. And I don't really love this dark blue down here where the water is. So I'll go back over with a little of my teal. Again, you know, you hear me, you've seen me. You can't fake the layers. It's the same whether you're stamping, painting, whatever. You're layering up and and then, you know, you can also, again, go in with, just interrupted myself, hold on, with, you know, some of these other trees. Of course, you know, your same little lone pine or something like this, and now take some of your other colors. Maybe you want your black again, go back over, maybe some greens, I don't know. I'm going to try a little black again just to sort of, you know, kind of cover up a little bit of those whites. And I feel like I do want still some color in there, which, you know, I can, again, do that. I'm looking in the monitor. That always helps me. I'm feeling like, oh, I do definitely want some green. Maybe I'll try a little of this teal. I don't know. A lot of times I will just keep layering up until I get, you know, that sort of nice balance that I like. And so, you know, again, wanting to just show you the differences, again, sort of between the watercolor and the acrylic, that there are ways that you can definitely go in and, you know, make all this imagery your own and just, I don't know, have so much fun with it. Oops, I'm dropping my stuff in the trash. I do want to now at this point take, I'm just going to use my Derwent stick just because I have it here. And I do want to add a little bit of yellow to my moon. So you can do something like that. Doesn't have to be a lot. And then I'm going to, I do feel like this still needs a little, I don't know what right now. This is something I'll probably, you know, do when I'm just sitting alone in my studio, like, you know, playing around. Just add a little bit of green here. And it's watercolor, so it is making it move a little bit. That's okay. I'm just going to let that dry. And again, you know, this is something I can go back and play around with and layer up more later, okay? But I am, last but not least, going to take the little dot to dot maker, okay? And we're going to load this up. I'll show you how it works. If you already have seen or used or have the tonal applicator, then you already know. But if not, then I'm just going to do that here for you. I always start off, okay? And then I'll just go in and that's just to bring in a little bit of depth and a little bit of dark color into my substrate, okay? And then I'm gonna, you can do the same thing sort of down here. And then I don't like to leave all those like kind of polka dots. So I will take, especially if my base layer is dry, and I can take my little baby wipe and smoosh and move it a little bit, and just, it's just to give it that nice sort of darker indication and kind of keep your eye sort of within the substrate here. You can go in and fuss around with that if you want to. Maybe even take a little bit of darker paint. And look at my hands. You'd think I had been finger painting all this time. And then if I can find my thing again one more time, my circle, I am going to line that out just once more. A little bit of white. Where is my white paint now? I think it grew legs. No, seriously. Oh my gosh. I must be getting blurry-eyed now. All I need is a little bit of white paint. What is happening? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go... Oh, here it is. Duh. The hardest part. All right. Well, you get the idea. I'll have to fuss with that a little bit more now. Got sort of a weird halo around my moon. Not to mention the most inky fingers I have had and the most painty fingers I have had literally in, I don't even know how long. Now I just have to try to smooth this out because I made a mess. So at least you know that I'm genuine, and this is how I work when I'm in my studio with you or alone. So you know you're getting the real deal. Anyway, all right, there you go. We're getting there. And let's do this down here too, just because. Nothing like adding a little lighter values. Okay, let's go ahead and, oops, I got a little smear there, which I did not want. Let's pull this down. And if there's anything you don't like, you know, you can fuss with that and go back in and do your little touch-ups wherever you need to. You know the deal. Oopsie. Okay, there we go. Well, I wanted it to be a little quicker because I will tell you, when I did it alone here in my studio by myself, it was a lot faster. But I do think you get the idea. And I don't think it matters if you go fast because that's not the point of having fun and getting makey anyway, right? So there you have it, my friends. A couple ways that you can get makey with your new ArtFoamies Stampscapes. I'm so excited. Of course, I think you can tell. I'm pretty sure you can. And I hope that you all are too. And mostly, Kevin, I hope that you love them. I am going to spray a little alcohol on my hands here and try to get them a little more presentable. All right, let me stop for a second. Yeah, and Dana says it needs a little witch flying through the sky. That would be so cute. Was it full this? Yes, it was a blood moon this past weekend. I got some really, really cool pictures. So yes, all right. Let's turn the camera back around. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions while we are still here? I will pull back out the other example to show you what it looks like when it's dry. Now it is very different. Or, well, not very, very different, but, you know, you can see, let me pull this up a little bit. So you can see, here's our demo from tonight. And that, it really does look like Northern Lights, doesn't it? Oh, I love it. And then here's the one from the other day, a little more pastel-y and a little more daytime-ish, or like maybe evening time-ish. So really happy with both of these, and I hope you are too. So let's see. Don't let me forget, or I don't actually, I meant to say, I don't want you to forget that if you order any Stampscapes this weekend, okay, you're going to get the free Fisherman. We will post that as a stamp for sale after Monday, okay? So my alcohol strength, Nita asked me, it says 91%, but it is not, okay? it is 70% that is poured into here. Okay. Yes, thank you, Kevin. I just want to say this one more time. Kevin says, thanks, KP. Honored to have Stampscapes available in this incarnation. Always love seeing the imagery used in different ways, and this blows open some doors. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, just literally over the moon to hear that. So I thank you so, so much again. Yeah, Kevin is originally from the Central Coast of California, but in San Diego now. Lucky you. Monica says, fabulous, Makey. Thank you so, so much. I have so much more. I am just dying to share with you all. I definitely hope that you will go over and follow Kevin, of course, and see all of his offerings. He does amazing. If you haven't seen it, please definitely do. Of course, I know that you will. Make sure that you follow Stampscapes on all social media. And of course, ArtFoamies too. Please make sure that you are signed up for our notifications on YouTube. And please join me over on Patreon if you love getting makey, because we do this every day, 5 days a week. All right. I mean, it's not hours and hours every day, but you know, like usually anywhere from half an hour to an hour every day, 5 days a week. So I'd love to have you. Jan, I want to thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot to me. I know normally you don't come in the evening, so for you to come here and support Kevin and of course us, I appreciate you so much. Tell Chuck we love him and thanks for giving up his dinner time. Yes, and happy Veterans Day to all of you. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you. Anybody who I did not mention your name, you know I never would leave you out on purpose. I love you to the moon and back, and you know the deal. Stay safe, stay sane, stay makey. I want to let you know I will not be here next week. There is no ArtFoamies Fun Friday on the 19th, okay? I have a very special event I'm going to be attending. My youngest is in a play at their college, and so I will be taking the night off. Again, appreciate you. Can't say enough to have you all here joining us, supporting us all these years, okay? Kevin, when did you start Stampscapes? Definitely in the 90s, right? Kevin is my hero, and so are you, KP. Well, you're ours too. You know how I feel about you, Jan. Yes, Kevin, you're the GOAT. I love you so much. I just can't, I tell you how much I appreciate you letting me just hound you for 2 years and finally giving in to my whims. So have a wonderful weekend. Go shop at ArtFoamies, go shop at Stampscapes, and let's get makey. All right. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Mwah. Oh, 93. Same here. We're from the same old school. And oh, also, Kevin, you are our first guy designer at ArtFoamies. Yay! All right. Again, congrats to us. I'm giving myself a pat on the back and you a big hug. And to all of our ArtFoamies friends and rubber stamping friends, we appreciate you following us, supporting us, and helping us stay in business all these years. All right. Kevin, I'll be in touch. We will be getting Mickey more together and collaborating. I cannot wait. I'm so excited by this. And thank you again. Good night. Have a great one. Bye.